You're listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast, celebrating hunting dog heritage, competition, and community. United Kennel Club has been the hunting dog sports home for coonhounds, beagles, retrievers, pointers, cur, feist, and more for over 125 years. Well, hey folks, welcome to another episode of the Hunting Ops Podcast here. My regular partner in crime, Trevor Wade, he's not here today. This is Easter week that we're recording this, and he headed to his home state of Tennessee with his wife and family and everybody, so they're doing that. But I do have a special guest today, Nicole Sedlecky. Welcome, Nicole.
Well, thank you, Alan.
Yeah.
I don't know how much about the special, but I appreciate it.
Hey,
and
you're
good
not,
for Trevor.
You're not a rookie at this. You have joined me one other time, but this is actually your second time on the podcast, but the first time of the video version.
Yes,
Yeah.
my studio debut, if you will.
There you go. So, hey, let's start with, what is your title and role at UKC? Let's start with that.
Okay, so my title at UKC is actually vice president. Most of the things that I deal with is the running of our sports and events, mainly our national events. I work with Megan Hartmus, who is our national events coordinator. And what our focus is when we do the events, we're not doing all the stuff that you do, Alan, with like everything that has to do with the rules and hiring the judges. But we really try to focus on event experience and making sure that everyone that goes there is having a great time. Yeah.
Well, before you guys came along, when Todd and I set up the events, they looked like they did, and they were fine. But then you and Megan came along, and you made them look like they do today. So anybody that has been to a Nationals, an Autumn Oaks, or a World Championship or anything like that, and things look all nice, that's because of you guys on board. And you do a great job with it.
Yeah, thanks.
You really do.
Thank you.
Yeah, so it always looks nice. And we're lucky to have you guys to help with all that stuff. So, and you do a whole lot for sure behind the scenes. But hey, this episode is going to air just a couple days before our Hunting Beagle Nationals, and that's going to be today's topic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So we got the Clash coming and the Nationals. So this is going to air on a Wednesday. So hopefully folks will be listening to this on their way to the Nationals.
I'm sure we will be.
Yeah. So let's start with talking about the Clash of Champions. And we're talking about Beagles here. Mm-hmm. So Clash of Champions is it comes with a $35,000 purse and $10,000 to win. So this is the second year for it. And qualification requirements are such that a dog has to earn 5 UKC cast wins in the calendar year previous to this. So that would mean the dogs that qualified for it this year had 5 cast wins in 2022.
And unlike the World, they don't have to go to a specific event, correct?
No, not a specific. It can be any UKC licensed event.
Okay.
So yeah, any cast win that will go towards their record, counts towards this. So five total cast wins qualifies them for that. Then after that, once they're qualified, they have to enter one of 4 different regions that we have in place. And the entry fee for that is $50 is what the entry fee is. But if you are a member of the NHBA, which is our breed association for beagles, they knock that in half, and it's only $25.
Oh wow!
So that's why you want to be a member of the NHBA.
Yes,
and
you
should be.
You should
be a great organization. So we've top 32 coming out of the regions advance to the finals, and they are the 32 dogs that will be in the $35,000 purse. Every one of those 32 is going to get a piece of it. How exciting would that be?
Wow, that's really cool. And and just with the one entry fee, your 5 cast wins. 5 cast wins,
1 entry fee. And be one of those that advances the top 32 to advance out of the regions.
And we've already had the regions, right?
We did. So the regions took place on April 1st.
Yep.
And as you know, UKC has another big one, the Tournament of Champions for Coonhounds. They happen at the same time. So it's kind of cool that
it's been a crazy time in this office.
It is. It has been a busy time, but it's kind of cool that you have both programs going on at the same time. There's a lot of hype for both of them, so it's kind of cool. And a lot of them have some both of them have some similarities, but So, April 1st, we were talking about several weeks ago, and we've had some crazy weather here in the last several weeks. It's Michigan up here.
There was like a tornado here yesterday.
Oh, I know. It's just you don't know if it's going to snow or if it's going to be 55 degrees or 60 degrees or whatever it's going to be. But so April 1st, as it turned out, the weather was really not so great anywhere around the country, but really it had zero to no effects on the running conditions for these regions. But Region 1, I just want to cover a couple of the clubs that held them. Magenta Beagle Club in LaFontaine, Indiana. They held Region number 1. They also held NHBA days in March, did a great job with that. And in March.
And you got to go to that, right?
Yeah, I love that one because I can hunt a dog in it there because it's not one of our own events. Homer? I hunted Homer and Sparky, my new dog.
I know. We like Sparky.
Yeah. Well, he's lucky he's even still here. First day I brought him in here to work. I put him out here in our courtyard. Did you hear about that?
Well, I heard about it because I waved to you that morning, and then maybe an hour and a half later, you walk into my office and say, hey, why didn't you help me get my dog that it had escaped? And I had no idea. I'm just waving, and you're trying to catch your dog. I'm like, hi, Ellen.
Yeah, so, well, we have this little courtyard here at work at the office where people put their dogs in. People can bring their dogs to work, and I brought him into work and was going to go hunting that night, actually, after work. So I put him out in the courtyard when I first get here and get a few things out of the truck. Next thing I know, he had slipped out from underneath the fence and he is over in the...
Just walk in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. And this is a busy neighborhood. I thought, there goes my dog. He's going to be dead already.
Oh my gosh. And how long had you had him?
Like a week.
He doesn't even know you, right?
He wouldn't handle. He didn't know his name, nothing. Wouldn't come to me, just wagging his... It was snowing that morning too.
Yeah.
I ran him down through the neighborhood. But anyway, long story short, I caught him. And I got 2 wins with him at 2 cast wins at NHBA days with him.
Well.
No, 1. I'm sorry, 1. 1 on him and 1 on Homer. But anyways.
Good for you and good for Sparky.
Yeah. So the Magenta Beagle Club, LaFontaine, Indiana, they hosted that event, the regional here. And running grounds are exceptional down there, and had a lot of good reports there. So thanks to the Magenta Beagle Club for putting that on. Region number 2 was in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, at the Waynesburg Beagle Club. That's the site of the
we had the World Hunt there.
You've been there. No, you haven't.
I wasn't there, but I will be there this year.
Megan went last year, and you're going this year.
Right.
You're going to love it. It's a good place. Excellent reports again from that region. Then there was another region in Mountain City, Tennessee. That was hosted by the Creston Beagle Club in North Carolina, and they held it over at the Doe Valley Sportsman's Club there in Mountain City. That club has held a lot of big events, the Eliminator in the past, the Eliminator East, and also NHBA days. NHBA days, a great place to have a rabbit hunt like this, and they did a great job there again. And then out west in Ava, Missouri, the Douglas County Beaglers hosted region number 4. So they've also hosted the Eliminator and Big Hunts before. Good club, good running there as well this weekend. So thanks to all 4 of those clubs for hosting these regions. So we had let's talk about the numbers a little bit. 148 dogs in the clash this year.
Wow. And this is only its second year.
Second year, yep.
And we saw that's more than last year, right?
Way more. Last year we had 98 total that entered. So that's a huge increase. Good increase. So really tickled to see that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So Pennsylvania had the most entries this year with 70, and it's, folks just love hunting up there. The last several years, they've had some nice events there, and they're doing a great job. And I don't know, a lot of them gravitated to go enter up there. People that are qualified, they enter in advance, and they can decide which one of the 4 regions they go to. So,
do they typically just go to the one that's closest to them?
Yeah, most of them will, but there's some that just, obviously West Virginia is big for us as far as, as numbers go. And, so Pennsylvania is going to get a lot of those numbers. So they're always going to be the biggest one over in that part of the country, but so they had 70 entries, nearly half of them actually. So, but all that doesn't really matter because, as far as advancing the top 32, it's all prorated. So a region that has more entries, they're also going to advance more of those out of their region to be one of those top 32.
Oh, I see. So it may not be an advantage to drive across the country to try to get to a smaller region.
Not at all. That doesn't make a difference at all. It's all prorated. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So as it turned out, the way the numbers turned out and everything, Indiana advanced 8 of those 32 came out of Indiana. Pennsylvania 15. So they have almost half of them because they had almost half the entry as
Right.
well. So, and then Tennessee advanced five dogs. Missouri, 4 came out of Missouri. So, and hey, the other thing about having 4 regions like that, it does allow for folks to not have to drive too far for this first hunt of the clash.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
yeah. So like we said, yeah, same formula for all regions, no advantages one region over another, other than if maybe sometimes, hey, I might have a dog that likes the type of terrain or whatever they have here versus there. So, an owner might decide, whatever, for whatever reason, what zone he's going to enter in, or region, I guess. But every dog that won a cast in round 1 earned a cast win towards their dogs. So it's like a licensed event.
Oh, awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So let's talk about, let's cover a couple of these regional winners that we had. So there's a winner named in each one of the 4 regions. So I'm sure you've probably heard of a young man named Brock Butler from Homer, Michigan.
Yes.
Okay. He and his dad, Nate, they have been, you've seen they've been very successful in last several years. Brock is just, he's a youth handler and he's just won a whole lot. Everybody knows Brock, but they ended up winning the Indiana region with Grand Hunting Beagle champion to Butler's Trooper. So they're the winners there. So.
I always like trying to get Brock to smile in his photos. He doesn't always like to smile, but
yeah,
we like to look like we're having fun sometimes.
He's getting to be a serious competitor.
Oh, he is serious. So, yeah.
I know. Yeah. In region number 2, that's the Pennsylvania region, was a dog owned by Josh Ware and Cody Rucker from West Virginia. Grand Hunting Beagle champion, Heat 'em Up Rowdy Reputation won that one. And you'll probably get to see this dog at the Nationals coming up here. But I saw him in NHBA days where I took his picture. That is a nice looking dog, just well built. You would like him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of a powerhouse little stud dog, really. I like that dog. He's just a good looking little hound. I've not seen him run yet, but he wins a lot, so he must be a pretty decent.
You think he'll enter the bench show?
I don't know. We'll have to see.
Okay.
Maybe you might have to talk Cody into it.
There you
go. The regional winner in Tennessee was a name that we is very recognizable, Jeff Stacy from North Carolina.
Yeah,
he and Ashley Stacy own this dog. Grand champion, Grand Hunting Beagle champion, Stacy's Mountain Outlaw Wild Beauty. A female there. So we had 2 males and there's a female. And not to be outdone, there's another female that won in the West, Mike Roy's dog that is co-owned with Tom Hicks from Missouri. Grand Hunting Beagle champion 2, champion Clifty Creek's Hattie was the regional winner out there.
Yep, I've seen Hattie before.
Yeah, so she's also done a lot of winning. So so congratulations to each one of those regional winners. And there's a reason we mention them. There's a lot of money at stake. $35,000 is the purse that they're going for, $10,000 to the winner, but there's also prizes on top of that for the regional winners. So they get a jacket for the overall winner, and we get 2 dog boxes for each one of the regions, and 2 telemetry systems. So we'll have a total of the top 4 placements are going to get awards. So obviously the first place winner is going to get the jacket, and then first place is going to pick what they want, a dog box or a telemetry system, and so on down the line, and that's how that works. So yeah, so we've done that the last couple of years, and want to thank the NHBA is also involved with that. They put up 4 dog boxes for this, so they kind of raise some funds each year and are able to add 4 dog boxes to that prize package. UKC does the other 4, and then obviously we provide the Dog Trip Pathfinder minis.
Yes.
For that. So,
right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the jackets. So we award those, everything to those winners Thursday night at the awards banquet in Zanesville there. So, yeah. So for folks to see the top 32 list of winners, the top 32 dogs advancing to the finals, that's a lot to go over. So congratulations to everybody that made it through. But folks can go onto our website, Facebook pages, and you can see all those top 32 there.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. But there's one dog I want to just point out, and only because he's a world champion, and according to Trevor and Corey McQueen, this Clash of Champions is his last hurrah.
What dog is that?
And that is the 2018 World Champion Chief. So as we'll see, you know, I don't know, you know, Tom Brady in football, he says I'm retired, and then the next year he's playing again. So, but Trevor told me this is his last go. The Clash is it for Old Chief. So, but that dog sure has made his mark in the sport, and he is the only reason I mention him is that he is still in it. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
how old is Chief?
I think he's a, I can't even tell. I think he's 7 or 8. I think he's closer to 8. So yeah. So that's kind of cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is.
Is he the oldest dog that we have in the
Probably is. I would say so. I haven't looked at all the ages, but I would say so.
Yeah.
But, you know, so we were talking 32 dogs. There's 16 males and 16 females. How ironic is that?
What good
right
split.
right down the middle. So let's talk a little bit about those finalists going to the Clash of Champions. They need to be in Zanesville at the fairgrounds. That is unlike last year. We met at the in Cumberland at a different location where we at the running grounds. That's not going to be the case this year. We're going to meet right at Zanesville at the site of the Hunting Beagle Nationals.
Right.
On Thursday morning. That's where they need to be at 7 a.m. With dog in hand, and then we're going to have a photographer there to get a picture of each one of those 32 dogs, right?
Correct. Yep.
You got something nice set up for them there?
Oh, we'll have the work set up. Yeah.
Perfect. And it'll be hopefully get some good pictures for them as well. So, yeah, so that's going to, and we'll draw them from the fairgrounds there. So, the format for the hunt is going to be 3 rounds for it. And they're each going to be 90-minute hunts. Each round is going to be 90 minutes. So it's going to be a test. You know, it's not going to be easy. Day. But hey, there's a lot of money at stake too. And it's not just going to be, we're not just going to hand out a bunch of money. You know, it's going to be a test. 3 rounds of 90 minutes. So it's not going to be easy, but plus points are not required to advance to the next round in Clash finals. Round 1 cast winners do in fact receive wins towards 3rd degree.
Okay.
And all of them will be hunting this year. We've got it set up where all of them will be hunting out of Tri-Valley. And the Beaglers in that area know what Tri-Valley is. It's a game land. There's thousands of acres there. So we've got it set up. Everybody's going to be hunting on that same game land. And I got it set up to where there's plenty of room to stretch out. Casts shouldn't hear each other and get together or anything like that. So, and then we're also going to have a meeting spot out there at Tri-Valley. So once they've got their the cast is done, the first round cast is done, cast winners are all going to come back to a one spot to meet up, and that's where they're going to redraw to go out in round 2. And round 2 is going to be a heads up, and that's bracing, 2 dogs in a cast.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a fun little round too, Now instead of competing with 4 dogs in a cast, you're down to 2.
2 dogs for 90 minutes.
For 90 minutes again. Yeah. So there you go again. And that's going to be in the probably, deadline 7. So 8, 9, probably around 10, 11 o'clock, those dogs will be going out there.
Yeah.
Round 2. So yeah. And those cast winners are going to come right back to the same spot. And then we'll be left with 4 dogs for the final cast.
How many miles do you think that winner is going to end up putting on, or at least the finalists?
That's a pretty good question. We have, on our telemetry systems, a lot of times you can, most of the telemetry systems, you can see how far the dogs went. So I'm going to say they'll probably put on in 90 minutes. I'm going to guess they'll put on a good 4, maybe 5 miles. I'm just throwing it out there kind of based on what my dogs run generally in a couple hours, so probably the winner at those dogs in the final cast, I'll bet for the end of the day, I'll bet they'll have a good 12 to 15, maybe more miles on them.
Wow. Their little legs.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, we talk, you mentioned that, but we do a lot with the coon hounds, the bigger hounds and this and that. But really, comparatively, Beagles they can put on a lot of miles, and they're just a hardy, beastie little hunting dog.
Oh yeah, and they're just like built so efficiently too, right? So it's not taking as much energy for them to get their strides out.
I know you've been to the last couple of years. You've been to a bunch, actually quite a few of our Beagle events or whatever. And I know you like those little dogs. You've judged a couple shows or whatever. But,
oh yes.
So, yeah. So, but it's good stuff. So those little Beagles they're little beasts for sure. So We also have, here's where you guys come in, where I have a question for you. I guess breakfast, you going to have anything for breakfast for the hunters on Thursday morning, like coffee, donuts, or something?
Coffee, donuts, and kalashkis.
Kalashkis. You were talking about that before we started.
I know.
You were in Texas here a couple of weeks ago or whatever.
Yep.
That's where you came. What is that?
So kalashkis, it's basically like a sausage roll. In Texas, it's a big thing at the donut shops. So they'll have their sweet donuts, and then savory, they have these kalashkis, and it's a sausage wrapped in basically donut dough. So it's like light, fluffy, airy. But it's just some extra protein.
Yeah, sounds like a good little breakfast thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it sounds great.
All right. Well, we'll trust you'll have that there for the hunters on Thursday morning for the clash. So yeah. Coffee and donuts and these kalashkis. So we'll check them out. And then you said you also had, I think Megan is setting something up to bring snacks out to the field for in between rounds, right?
Yes. Yeah. So we'll have drinks and sandwiches and stuff ready to go. So everyone can fuel up.
Yeah. Fuel up in between round one and the heads up round. So when they come back to that meeting spot, we'll have some snacks for them.
No one's going to go hungry that day. So
if they do, it's their own fault if they do. Yeah. So. Yeah, well, for sure, it's gonna be a great time for sure. I know, and let's talk about payouts. So I mentioned $35,000 total purse. So everybody in the top 32 is going to be in the money. So after the first round, we'll have We'll be left with 24 non-winners, is what we'll call them.
Yeah, and what do they get?
They're each going to get $500
All right.
out of this total. That's not bad.
No,
that's
not
bad
at all.
Yeah, heck yeah. So there's the first round, 24 of those. So now we're down to ninth. Let me see. The next group of non-winners in the heads up round, they are going to get, $1,000. Yeah, $1,000 from that.
And how many dogs is that?
And that's going to be a total. That's going to be 4 dogs there.
Okay.
So 8 dogs total after the first round. And then in the fourth place is going to end up with $1,500.
Mm-hmm.
Third place is going to get $2,500. Second place is $5,000, and then first place is $10,000.
Wow!
So that makes up that total purse of $35,000.
That's pretty nice.
It is. So looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun, and hopefully the weather will cooperate with us, and we'll have a good Clash of Champions finals.
Oh man, I'm getting excited.
Alan, we both had Dogtra Pathfinder 2s now for a little while. What do you think about yours?
I'm liking mine. One of the things I had the opportunity to now download a map of an area where I did not have service, and I've used it there, and it has worked flawlessly. I love it.
Yeah, I love the crystal clear maps. I love that I never lose reception on my dog's collars anymore. Highly recommended by me as well.
Dogtra Pathfinder 2, the official GPS collar of UKC. So, Nicole, let's segue into the Hunting Beagle Nationals. We've talked about the Clash. Let's talk about the Nationals that's happening on the same weekend here. So, what's on tap this year?
All right. So, at the Beagle Nationals, we are going to have, obviously, the Clash of Champion Finals. That's going to be Thursday of the week. We'll also have an awards banquet Thursday night. We'll talk about the 4 licensed hunts, bench show, kids bench show, the Junior Nationals Championship.
That's a good one.
It's a new one as of last year.
Second year for it this year.
Our little fun jackpots that we're hosting.
Perfect. So let's start with talk about some details for the awards banquet on Thursday night.
Okay, so we'll have obviously the Clash of Champion finals, and then at the headquarters at the Muskingum County Fairgrounds in Zanesville.
That's kind of a hard one to Muskingum. Is Muskingum?
It's the G makes it hard.
Remember
for sure.
last well, you weren't there last year,
I
but
was there last year.
Okay, you were,
yeah.
But we were having a hard time with pronouncing that correctly. We're getting better at it, I think.
You just kind of
Muskingum County Fairgrounds.
Oh wow, yeah, you do say it different than I don't know. I'm saying Muskingum. At the fairgrounds
in Zanesville.
In Zanesville, we're gonna have the banquet in like that headquarters building that we're using. So we'll have food. It's not just for the Clash participants. If you've entered on the online entry form, it asks how many people do you want to bring to the banquet? And yeah, we'll have food and the awards. Do you want to talk about the awards a little bit?
Yeah, but who can come to the banquet? Anybody that's got a dog entered, right? You said
anyone that has a dog entered for the whole weekend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Clash or the Nationals or whatever.
Correct. Yep.
Absolutely.
It's Thursday night at 7 p.m.
Yeah. And it's all free, right?
Correct.
No charge. So yeah, we're picking all of the tab up for that. So yeah, come and plan on being there for that. So yeah, then the awards banquet is going to happen, right? We're going to get to eating and everything. And as soon as we're done eating, we're going to go into the awards banquet. And some of the winners that we're going to recognize are our First Strike Series winners from 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And that's our Youth Handler awards. And we have 6 winners. We do 3 places in the senior division, ages 13 to 17. And we also have 3 young 12 and under. So this year, our winners that we're going to announce or recognize this year in the seniors, we mentioned Brock Butler.
I was wondering if he was going to be on there, right?
Yep, he's going to be a winner again. So he's one of them. Achilles Morrison from Indiana, he's going to be another one. And Eli Watson, also of Indiana.
Oh,
so
nice.
They're very good. They've got some nice dogs and doing a lot of winning. Good kids, too. And that's always, so they're in the senior division. And then in the junior division is from Missouri, Braxton Owens.
Yeah.
Braxton. He's a energetic young feller from over there, and tickled to see he won the junior division this year. So good for him. And we're going to see him hopefully there and give him his awards. Bentley Little is another one from, I think, from Missouri.
Okay.
I've not, we'll meet him there. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I don't think I've met him yet, but we'll see. And then Raiden Katanka is from West Virginia. And he's also another energetic little kid. And he's really into, he had a dog that he hunted in the Clash, Bill. White River Bill. He got a cast win with Bill. So yeah, it'll be good.
I had a dog named Bill.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll see all 6 of those. I'm hoping they'll all be there. And, so that, and then our COC or Clash of Champions regional winners, we're going to recognize those 4 that I mentioned earlier. And then usually we may have a couple other little items, but then also usually we close it out with the NHPA. Usually they have a couple of folks they want to recognize. So they haven't said anything yet, but if they do, that'll happen also.
Right.
So yeah, but it's a fun little time.
For the First Strike Series, and I'm sure you've gone over this before, but what is the qualification time for that? Like, when did we know who won?
Yeah, so that's a calendar year as well. So it starts January 1 each year and ends on December 31st.
Okay.
So there's points for kids, get 5 points for entering a dog in the hunts. And they can enter up to 2 per day. And then if they get a cast win, it's another, those are the bonus points that they pick up of like 10 points. So a kid can earn 15 points per dog per day for each one of the up to 2 dogs. And then it's the same thing in the show.
I was going to say, they can enter for the show too, right?
Yeah, same exact thing there. So yeah, so it's been a really good little program. And we have a lot of kids that are out there earning points and competing. That's good.
I like that because it's not 2 different lists between the hunt and the show. It's just one list.
It is. Those points are actually combined.
I think that's really cool.
It is.
It makes for a versatile handler.
It is, and the other thing that I like about it is the show points cannot exceed the hunt points. In other words, you have your set of hunt points that you earn and your set of show points. And then those 2 are added up together. But let's say, for instance, just to make the point I'm trying to make here, if you have 20 hunt points and 30 show points, your total net is only going to be a total of 40 and not 50. So, and it's kind of set up in a way so they have to do both. In order to be competitive in this series, they almost have to do both. And I think it's great for kids to show dogs. I think there's so much good that comes from that. And you've showed dogs all your life, and probably as a junior too, right?
Actually, no.
No?
No, I didn't show as a junior.
I thought you did, but anyways, yeah.
My mom, I don't know. I just never got into it. But
well, I think, it's one thing to hunt dogs, and this and that's all good and dandy. But I think just when you show dogs, you're more one-on-one and getting your hands on a dog, and really just the process of all that is just, I think it's great for kids.
I think a lot of showing dogs, and especially like at those like Beagle hunts, is a lot of getting your dog to trust you, you know, when like strangers are coming up and just having that relationship and bond with them.
It is. And I just feel like they learn so much from working with dogs, more hands-on like that in the shows. So that's all good. But yeah, so that's a good thing. And so yeah, that about covers that. So let's move on here and let's talk about we have 4 licensed hunts. And so we have a hunt on Friday morning.
Yep.
It's different. This is the second year that we're doing it. It's a little different. So it's not full elimination. It's kind of what you might call the Nationals to be kind of a semi-elimination type format.
Yeah.
And we'll get, as we move along here, we'll explain, but it starts, so we'll have 4 total hunts, 2 on Friday, 1 Friday morning, 1 Friday afternoon, and then the same thing Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon. So folks can, they can have an entry in each one of those, or as many as they want, I guess, but a dog can hunt in no more than 2 of the 4 hunts. And there's kind of some reasoning behind that, but to get a reservation is a little different here. They don't actually enter a dog; they get a reservation. Can you explain how all that, what they do to get a reservation?
Yeah. So all of the entries that we're taking for the national is done online, mainly to keep track of how many dogs we're getting in each
of the 4
round,
hunts, right? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because we have a cap set for each round. And so you can go online and reserve as many, reservations as you're going to do. If you have 2 dogs and you want to enter both of them to the, 2 hunts, then you'll make 4 reservations, put them in what rounds you want. And then you will come in the morning or the afternoon, whenever those round deadlines are, and let us know what dog you are using that reservation for.
Generally what folks are used to is entering a dog in advance, and that's not this. They're just getting a reservation, and what's different is they come to the event and enter whatever dog they want on the reservation they had.
Yep.
I think it's more customer friendly, and if they have, sometimes they have a dog that they entered getting hurt, or maybe a female coming in season, you
want to switch it out.
Yeah, they don't have to do any of that. You just bring whatever you decide to hunt on that day.
I really like this. We switched to this style last year, and I think it's kind of neat to not make it this elimination, when I think of nationals as being a reunion and time to like get to see everyone that you normally don't get to see. And it used to be really sad when everyone would be there on Friday, and then, it starts dwindling down really quick.
Yeah. 75% of them every round, and it's just more of a relaxed, friendly atmosphere, and people can kind of decide, control where they're going to hunt and this and that, and then there is a championship that happens on Sunday. So what we do is we take the top 16 dogs in each of the 3 categories. So that's grand. The top 16 grands in one category, they will have their own championship on Sunday. So they do that based on double cast wins. We mentioned the same dog can enter 2 of the 4 hunts, whatever ones they choose, and those results is what we're going to is what's going to determine who gets in, or who moves on. So double cast winners first, and last year, anybody that's a double cast winner is going to be in. It's just the way it works out.
That's what happened last year.
You mentioned, until reservations are filled, it's capped at 120.
120.
120, yeah.
As of now, we have about 30 spots.
Yeah, you're talking about the day that we're recording this, so we still have several weeks here to come, So, and that's a good point, Hopefully folks got their reservation before they close, because once those 120 are used up in each hunt, then that hunt closes for that, But yeah, so, and the same thing is, for grands, top 16 grands, double cast winners first, and then single cast wins, and then same thing with champions, and then also registered. So we have 4 different categories that go into the championship rounds on Sunday.
We also have the junior national champion, which will be on Sunday.
And that's last year was the first year we had that, and man, what a success that was.
It was fun.
It was, and with that dog gets a title too, just like the national grand champion does. This is a junior national title, and so to be eligible for the junior national championship, and most beaglers would call this a derby, is what it would be. So it's the same thing. We call it the junior national championship, and the dogs that are eligible for that are dogs that are UKC registered, that are born on or after May 1st of 2021. The dog older than that would not be eligible for this. So the date is May 1st of 2021. So that's going to mean there's dogs that none of the dogs in the Junior National Championship are going to be 2 yet. They're all going to be under 2.
Right.
Yep.
And in order to qualify, you have to enter on Friday.
You do. That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. So those juniors, they can enter in, again, they can enter in no more than 2, but the juniors have to enter on Friday only.
Okay.
So no juniors are going to be.
I mean, you can enter, but it's not going to count towards the junior championship.
Exactly. So a dog less than 2 years old could still be competing for any of the other 3 categories, you know, but not for the junior national championship. Not after Friday anyways. So, yeah. And we have all these details on our website, you know, so if somebody has any questions about, make sure you go up there and check out all of that. So the only difference with that, we mentioned the 16 dogs in each category on Sunday's championship. The junior national championship, we only take 4.
Right.
Not 16. So only 4. And they have 1 round in juniors in the national championship. And then Sunday, like last year, we plan on doing the same thing that really worked great. We had send each category out at the same time, all to the same place. So for instance, the Grands might go to Tri-Valley or one of the other running ground areas, and they stay out there after round 1. They have a meeting spot for those forecast winners to come back.
And they recast right from there, right?
Recast right from there. It was really a friendly way to do it instead of coming all the way back to.
I agree.
Yeah, that was really nice. And I think most people really liked that.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the registered and the champs. And then like last year, I think we sent the juniors to a private spot close by. But all worked out
we
great.
did.
Yeah. So it's a great deal. You know, the one thing I didn't mention, if you enter a dog in the Nationals, you're also going to get a Nationals hat, just like in. And I've seen some of our hats this year, and I really like them. So I've not seen these, but everything else so far I've seen. So we're going to trust Keegan. He got us some good hats. Yeah. But hey, walk-up entries. Let's talk about that. In the event, we don't have an event filled or a reservations, all 120 taken up for each one of the 4 hunts. Those will close when? Isn't it Thursday night?
So the online link is going to close Thursday night at midnight. 11:59.
Yep.
If in the event we don't have, say, Friday morning filled at 120, we'll take entries, walk-ups to get to that 120, but it's going to be $60 an entry.
Instead of 40. Yeah. A good reason to get a reservation ahead of time.
Yeah, just get it in ahead of time if you can, if you know you're coming. And when you go online, it has the number of entries that are still available. But on Thursday, once that link is done, then we'll just have to post it to the forums or something.
And if by chance, you know, there's nothing there for, let's say, the Saturday morning hunt, that means all 100.
That is the most busy, or that one's filling up the quickest.
And that would mean that they're all taken already, and you can't get a reservation for it.
Correct.
You know, so.
Yep.
But if in the event there are any left over, we will take a walk-up entry. But on the day of, we mean by Friday morning, if we have anything available, you can get in line, first come, first serve for walk-up entries.
And it's per round. So
per round, we're not going to, in other words, we're not going to, on Friday morning, we're not going to take a walk-up entry for Friday night or Saturday morning.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's move on to the bench show.
Okay.
Details for when's the bench show going to happen?
The bench show is going to be Saturday in between the round 1 and round 2. So around noon on Saturday.
Yeah. So I think that's the deadline actually is 12 o'clock for that. And we'll make announcements and such. I don't think I told you, mentioned you judged a couple of our Beagle shows here in the last year or 2 or whatever, but I got Amy McDonald.
Oh, good. I thought you were about to say, you're going to judge this one too.
No. Hey, Amy is a very, very capable judge. Used to work at UKC several years ago or a good little while.
She helped, she was the expert for one of our live shows at Autumn Oaks a couple years ago.
Yeah. And she's very knowledgeable, and I think folks should be entering their dogs and know that they are going to get a good look from a very good judge. She knows what she's looking for. She recently moved back to Ohio, is where she was born and raised, and now lives in Worcester again.
Oh, okay.
And so she's not too far from there, and it worked out perfectly to have her. So
that's
she's
great.
going to drive down on Saturday and judge the show, and I know she's looking forward to it.
And right after the bench show. We have the kids bench show,
Yep.
and she'll do a great job with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, those two things. And also, while we're talking about the bench show, this year we have something different. We've always had a youth handler award, but just for the hunt. And I'm not sure why, but we also have, this year I got one for the show. So we're going to have a separate one for the show.
Good.
And we will announce the details to the kids there, how that's going to be determined. So,
Awesome.
So yeah, kids, enter your dogs in the show. I'll have a separate special award for that. So, so the Junior National Championship, we talked about the details for that. And maybe the one other thing I didn't mention about that is if you enter a dog on Friday, in the juniors, Friday morning, Friday evening, and they don't have to hunt both nights or both entry or Friday morning and Friday evening to be eligible for the Final Four. That's all going to determine on their score. So the owner is going to decide how many, if he enters one or two or what have you, So just because you didn't enter in both doesn't mean you aren't eligible for the final cast.
Gotcha.
But double cast winners will be taken first over single cast winners. But they wouldn't be. So what I'm trying to say here is a junior that hunted on Friday morning and Friday afternoon, running for the Junior National Championship, that dog's not going to be eligible to go back in Saturday to run for, let's say, the registered division or champion division.
You can only do two.
Yeah,
for the
you can only run for one category. It's either going to be grand, champion, registered, or the junior.
Oh,
categories.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, not more than one. So jackpots. Let's talk about that. How do they work? That was a fun little thing for you last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really fun. So when you come to confirm your, I guess not really your entry, but come to bring your entry for your reservation, you can enter a $10 jackpot. We'll mark you down, and all of that pool is going to go and be paid out among.
We're not going to keep any of it.
Right.
It's all going to go back out.
Yeah, because it's just for fun.
Yeah.
We'll divide that up by 4, and we will draw 4 cast winners from those jackpots.
Yeah. So anybody that is in the jackpot and they win their cast, we're going to put them in a pot and draw 4
we'll
winners
put their name in a hat
after each round.
Exactly.
It was kind of fun last year.
Yeah.
Some of those got pretty big, actually. The payouts
I
did.
know.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. So 3 national titles. So the titles we're awarding here is the dog to win first place grand hunting beagle champion is going to be awarded a degree, just like their championship title. So that's the big thing at the nationals, the only place where you're going to earn that. And then the other one is the same thing with the show.
Yep.
And that got to be a grand champion. That dog is the one that's going to earn the title. And then also the third one is the junior national champion. So we've only got one so far from last year, this being the second. So those are the 3 big titles dogs are going to be able to earn. So a couple things, we want to wrap this up here pretty soon here, but we will also offer permanent measuring for dogs on Friday and Saturday between rounds. And we only do permanent measuring at select events where we're at our own events, either here or the World Championship. So folks that want to get that done, they can do it here. Our reps do all that stuff. It's kind of designated times that we will announce at the event. But a dog has to be registered, and it has to be at least a minimum of 18 months of age.
Yeah.
So a year and a half old. And they can do that there. Just ask us for a form. They can fill it out. And when the time comes to get it measured, they'll do that. So speaking of measuring, I just want to remind folks too that we have the new rule that went into effect last year that if you measure a dog one time at an event, that measurement will be good for the whole event, whether it's a 1-day event, 2-day event, or however many. So if you measure a dog, you get one measurement at the nationals, that measurement's going to be good for your rest of your weekend. So let's talk about the schedule of events a little bit. Can you got a list there and can kind of go over it and what's going to happen? And folks can also go online and see this stuff. We'll have it posted there, but just for some of our listeners that might be a little curious.
Sure. Okay. So Thursday, April 20th, again, that's our Clash of Champions finals. We're going to meet at Zanesville, Muskingum County Fairgrounds.
You got it. Muskingum.
Just got to say it really fast. So we'll meet there. Deadline's at 7. Banquet's going to be at 7 p.m. So deadline for the Clash is 7 a.m. Banquet 7 p.m. And then Friday, round 1 or hunt 1. The deadline is going to be 6:30 in the morning, and then hunt 2 will be 2 p.m. Same thing for Saturday for hunt 3 and 4, but we will have the bench show on Saturday in between those two rounds. And then Sunday for our lucky 16 dogs, right?
Top 16 in each category. Yeah.
We will have a deadline at 7 a.m.
Actually, 6:30, I think, isn't it? 6:30?
Oh, yeah, 6:30.
6:30, yeah. So everything
Okay.
is 6:30 except for Thursday stuff, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, no. Yeah, 7. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time. Nationals is always fun. You know, last year, I don't know, probably not many people knew it, but I kind of had a couple of health issues I was dealing with last year, and it was a kind of a struggle for me a little bit, you know, and but I'm well again, and I'm back, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
April is it's a fun time to be here at UKC.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot going on, and but it's also a good time.
Yeah.
So, any closing thoughts here? Let's wrap this up. But
closing thoughts? No, I'm just really excited.
Yeah,
it's going to be right on the heels of TOC and then going into Clash. So I'm looking forward to it.
It's always, the Beaglers are always fun to play around with and everything, hunt their dogs. And
oh yeah, it's great dogs, great people.
It is, you know, they bring their dogs in, and you can just see how a lot of the dogs, they have their connections with their owners and handlers and stuff, and it's just good to see. It's a healthy sport and a good time, and hey, hopefully you're listening to this on your way to the Nationals, and looking forward to the event as much as we are. And we thank everybody that got a reservation, and look forward to seeing you, and appreciate them supporting the Nationals and the Clash.
Yes, absolutely. Great time. Safe travels.
Thanks for listening to the UKC Hunting Ops Podcast. Be sure to give us a follow wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss out on new episodes.